Okay, this is Awkward Occurrence Hocus News. We're just reviewing a 39-second clip release of Sandra recording the police in a car. I just want to do commentary on it and compare it to the dash cam. So, I'm just going to let it play.
Why am I being apprehended? You trying to give me a ticket for your failure?
Out of the car.
Why am I being apprehended? You just opened my car door. You just opened my car door.
Get out of the car now.
Why am I being apprehended? You trying to give me a ticket for your failure?
Out of the car.
Why am I being apprehended? You just opened my car door. You just opened my car door. So you threatening to drag me out of my own car?
Pulls the taser. I guess that's his right hand. He pulls the taser from his hip next to the door handle where you open the door from the inside.
Get out of the car.
And I'm just correlating things from this to the dash cam video, like comparing them.
You
I will
stop
light
me?
you up. Get out.
Wow.
Now.
Wow.
Get out of the
Really?
car.
For a failure to signal. You doing all of this?
Get out of the car now.
Why am I being apprehended? You trying?
She started recording when he said, "Get out the car now." So we're trying to figure out at which point did she grab the phone and hit record. At which point in the dash cam video did she grab the phone and hit record?
Get out of the car now.
Why am I being apprehended? You trying to give me a ticket for your failure?
Out of the car.
Why am I being apprehended? You just opened my car door. You just opened my car door. So you threatening to drag me out of my own car?
Get out of the car.
And then you
I
gonna
will
stop
light
me?
you up. Get out.
Wow.
Now.
Wow.
Get out of the
Really?
car.
For a failure to signal. You doing all of this for a
Get
failure
over
to signal?
there.
Right, yeah. Yeah, let's take this to court. Let's do
Go
it.
ahead.
For a failure to signal. Yep, for a failure to signal.
Get off the phone.
On my school.
Get off the phone.
I'm not on the phone. I have a right to
Put your
record. This
phone
is my
down.
property. This
Put
is
your
my
phone
property.
down.
Sir?
Put your phone down. Right.
Put your phone down. I asked her twice and he said, "Oh." She said, "Sir?" Like, you heard him the second time. I don't get that part either.
This
Put
is
your
my
phone
property.
down.
Sir?
Put your phone down. Right now.
Okay, this is Awkward Occurrence with Hocus News. We're going to be looking at a short 2-minute clip of the dash cam footage of when Sandra was arrested. It's not going to be too much commentary, I hope. I just want to point out some things I just found strange about the officer and the victim interaction with one another.
You okay?
I'm waiting on you.
Okay, this after he had took her ID, he came back from the car and wrote the ticket. He was finishing writing it at her window. And he asked her if she was okay.
This is your job. I'm waiting on you. What are you running?
Oh, you seem very irritated.
I am. I really am, because I feel like this crap is what I'm getting the ticket for. I was getting out of your way. You were speeding up, tailing me, so I moved.
Again, in the news articles we read about, again, I'm calling her a fictional character. They said she had PTSD, depression from, I guess, not having too much work. Even though at this point she was back to work, so she shouldn't have been sad anymore. Nothing to be sad about when she just got a new job at the college she graduated from. She was a sorority member at that college, and she just got a new job there. So she shouldn't have any sadness at this point. Also, she had just started doing some Facebook posts after watching the movie Selma, doing Facebook posts about black injustices in the Western world. You know, that whole Hocus narrative of divide and conquer, that whole thing.
And you stopped it. So, yeah, I am a little...
And this helped fuel Black Lives Matter, like another article read. It really did. This did give Black Lives Matter more stuff to march on. A lot of stuff in 2015. A lot of Hocus news happened in 2015. A lot of stuff Black Lives Matters marched on. And there's a lot of evidence pointing towards Black Lives Matter being a government-funded, assembled organization. So, Black Lives Matters, Sandra Bland. Put two and two together.
Irritated, but that doesn't stop you from giving me a ticket. So.
Are you done?
You asked me what was wrong, and I told you.
Okay.
So now I'm done yet.
Okay. You mind putting out your cigarette, please? Don't mind.
And here's the strange interaction. Like, first he asked her what she done. She had answered a question. He had asked her a question about what was wrong. Which, in police interaction, when you're given a ticket, there's no extra questions. That struck me as odd that he asked that question. What also struck me as odd, when he was about to give her a ticket, you asked her to put out a cigarette when you could have just gave her a ticket and went on about your day. It's just an odd interaction between him and her. Maybe it seems a little. It's like more I look at it, the more it seems maybe scripted, maybe. But it just seems odd. Like if he wanted it to be prejudiced and whatnot, he would have arrested her from the get go. Like it just seemed like he would have, from the beginning, asked her to step out the car. And not the cigarette thing that made him flip a lid in his racist mind and ask her to be out the car. This whole interaction is strange.
I'm in my car. Why do I have to put out my cigarette?
Well, you can step on out now.
I don't have to step out of my car.
Step out of the car.
Why am I?
Step out of the car.
No, you don't have to wait.
Step out.
And he just opens the door. She didn't have the door locked. Really? You don't have your door locked, lady? That struck me as odd the very first time I saw this. Like, you didn't have your door locked. He just opened your door like that.
Out of the car.
Why am I?
Look at that.
Out of the car.
Let's go back.
I have to put out my cigarette.
Well, you can step on out now.
I don't have to step out of my car.
Step out of the car.
Why would he ask her to step out of the car because she didn't put out the cigarette? Dude, you're just about to give her the ticket. Now it changes to step out the car. I mean, some are going to say, well, he found a reason to be upset because she wouldn't put out the cigarette. But no, everything was going just fine. Just fine. And then the whole movie changes. It just changes. I just don't think a prejudiced cop would act like this. If he really wanted to take her to jail, I don't think it would have went this way. Maybe I'm looking too far into it, but it don't seem too legit. Opens the door.
Step out of the car.
No, you don't have the right.
Step out of the car.
You do not have the right to
You
do
do
that.
not have the right.
Now,
And her whole background, tracing back to earlier the year, she had watched Selma about black activists. She got into black activism on Facebook, posting videos about the black injustices. And out of nowhere, just so happened a few months later, she gets involved in a situation like this. Isn't it kind of odd how they tell her story? Like, okay, let's see. December 2014, she went to watch Selma. After watching that movie, a week later or 2 weeks later in January, she started posting videos about black injustices because she saw the injustices in Selma. She started talking more about Black Lives Matter. She had PTSD, that fake disease. She had sadness from not having a job, but she just got hired a few days before this incident. Got hired at her old school where she graduated from college. Just look back at the video of what I say in the articles.
step out or I will remove
I
you.
refuse to talk to you other than to identify myself.
Step out or I will remove
I am
you.
getting removed for a failure.
Step out or I will remove you. I'm giving you a lawful order.
Like, he had no reason to even pull her from the car. And there's no reason for it to go to him pulling her from the car. Not even the cigarette thing is reason enough. Like, if a cop was being prejudiced and wanted to arrest her, he had to find more to arrest her on than the cigarette. Or get upset about than a cigarette. This interaction is odd. It's not adding up to what a prejudiced cop would do. I just don't believe. I believe this is scripted. I'm starting to believe more and more this is scripted.
car now, or I'm going to remove you.
And I'm calling my...
In the articles we're about to see, you understand why I think it's now scripted and hoax and psychological operation.
I'm going to yank you out of here.
Okay, you gonna yank me out of my car?
Get out.
Okay.
At this point, she started recording. I forget which point she started recording. I don't know how he wasn't able to get her out the car. And I don't know at what point she decided to flip the phone. She had a flip phone or not. She decided to push record. Because in the 49-second, it's only a 39-second recording.
All right.
25
Let's
seconds.
do this.
Yeah, we're going to.
Yeah. Don't touch me.
Get out of the car.
Don't touch me.
Right then and there, in a real altercation, she should have been dragged out the car. You see, he's reaching in, but she wasn't dragged out the car. Right then and there, it looked like there was about to fight. Looked like there was a fight going on in the car. But if you look at the 39-second video, there was no fist fight or nothing. At this point, you would think he would have dragged her out the car, threw her on the ground, and arrested her right there.
I'm not under arrest. You don't have the right to say
You are under arrest.
I'm under arrest for what?
25
For what?
7 County FM 1098. Just
For what?
297.
She's about to pull the
Get
taser.
out of the car. Get out of the car now.
Why am I being apprehended? You trying to give me a ticket
I said
for
get
failure?
out of the car.
Why am I being apprehended? You
I'm
just
giving you
opened
a
my car
lawful
door.
order.
The whole story, she didn't have her change lane. No, come on now. Cops usually don't pull nobody over for not signaling, changing lanes. And he did not know she was black. You can't make this race thing. She did not know he was black from behind, looking behind. She did not, because he was driving behind her. She changed lanes to let him pass by. That's when he put on his lights and pulled her over.
I'm going to drag you out of here.
So you threatening to drag me out of my own car?
Get out of the car.
And then you
I will let
Why
you
didn't he
get
drag her out right here?
now.
Wow.
Get out of the car.
For what?
Why didn't he drag her out right
Or
there?
I'm going to remove you.
Why in the script didn't he drag her out? He's I'm gonna remove you. Look like they're about to fight. Look like they're about to fight.
25
Let's do this.
Yeah, we're going to.
Yeah. Don't touch
And he didn't drag her out.
Out of the car.
And he didn't drag her out. But somehow she was able to grab the phone and record.
I'm under arrest for what?
25 7 County FM 1098.
Like this altercation inside the car is very strange when he opens the car and reaches in. Like the altercation is strange, and the fact that she only got 39 seconds and that number 39 comes up, it's strange.
297, another unit. Get out of the car.
He would have been gonna drug her out. He would have been gonna drug her out. What's going on here? Why didn't you drag her out? What's going on here?
Car now.
Why am I being apprehended? You trying to give me a ticket
I said
for failure?
But this was a black thing, and he was being so-called racist and prejudiced. Why didn't he drag her out that car right then and then slam her to the ground? And when she was slammed to the ground, it was off the dashboard camera.
Out of the car.
Why am I being apprehended?
Which people will say, oh, that's because he didn't want he didn't want his superiors to see it. No. No. Why didn't, he's doing all this in front of his dash camera, knowing he's in the wrong. But he didn't drag her out the car right then and here. It's something off about this whole altercation. And it's not that he's being prejudiced. It just, to me, it's more I think about it and try to put together the pieces, it's like it's scripted.
I'm going to drag you out of here.
So you gonna
He would have dragged her out. In a real life event, if a cop was being prejudiced, they would have dragged her black ass out the car, threw her on the ground, threw her on the hood of his car, and took her to jail. And on whatever trumped her charges.
threatening to drag me out of my own car?
Get out of the car.
And then you
This is so-called when the video started recording. Because she didn't start recording video immediately when he opened the door. Because we're going to look at the 39-second clip and compare it to when she started recording and why it's odd. And why this is odd.
I'll light you up. Get out.
Wow.
Now.
Wow.
Get out of the car.
For a failure to signal. You doing all of this for a
Get
failure?
over
Got
there.
the phone in her hand.
Yeah.
She didn't have the phone in her hand the whole time. She only recorded 39 seconds, so she only got to record 39 seconds. It's strange. It's just strange.
Go ahead.
And again, this was during the Black Lives Matter uproar when it was on and popping in 2015. You couldn't turn on the TV in 2015 without saying Black Lives Matter doing something. Then there was another so-called cop shooting, and there was Black Lives Matter again. Another cop shooting, Black Lives Matter. Something else to do with blacks, Black Lives Matter again on the scene. This is a part of that Black Lives Matter era. This is a part of that era.
Down. Right now.
She goes and put the phone on the ground.